Hey guys, I was going to cover this building of a cooling wall. Sorry I didn't cover it while I was building it, but I can kind of explain what it is, and most people can probably figure out the rest. But anyway, this was just a home built. You have to buy these craft mats. Again, you can order those off Amazon. I'll put the link below, but I think those are about $60 each. So that's going to be your most expensive items. Cooling wall, though, if you order it pre-done, it'll probably cost you $800–900. So the rest of it's pretty easy to build yourself. You can find some of these metal 2x4 studs at Home Depot. I think they're like $3, and you can get a piece of gutter. Again, $3 or $4 worth of gutter each side. 1-inch PVC line. I believe I got this at the O'Reilly's Auto Parts store. I'll put below. I think it's a 1-inch oil gasket or something. But I drilled a hole through the gutter, and inside of that 1-inch PVC pipe is running all the way down to the other side, and I just put a drain spigot on the other side. Never really had to use it, but I just put it there in case. What that's doing is, inside of here, I've drilled about 1/32 inch holes every inch or so. And you don't want to get too close to the edge, but I would start, an inch in, and then do it every inch right in a line. Pop a line on that 1-inch PVC, and then you'll mount it so that it's going to spray right in the middle on top of this 4-inch thick mat here. And what that'll do is that'll go down, it'll drain. It kind of sets on top of that lip in the gutter and then drains. And if I can show you here, actually in this gutter I mounted a 1 1/4, because I think that's what I had, or 1.5 bulkhead fitting. And that bulkhead fitting just kind of drains down. I just threw a piece of gutter, but I was going to mount a PVC pipe. So on this side, I'll put the pump. It's a 925 gallon per hour pump, which pumps plenty. I put in the reserve. I just bought one of these from, I think it was Costco. The reserve, this is plenty big for my reserve. I put a stock, like something you get at the Tractor Supply. It's a float valve for a livestock tank. So that is hooked over into our water supply there. So what that does is, if this thing needs to be refilled, it doesn't allow the pump to run dry. So that the smaller reserve, the more likely you're going to run cooler water, groundwater, through that mat. So that's something to think about. This water is probably a little warmer because it's such a large reserve. So smaller reserve with the auto refill will keep a lot cooler water. So when the air comes through, it'll probably drop it another 10 degrees or so. So that's something to definitely think about. You need a big enough reserve that when it turns off, it's going to drain itself back into, so you got to have an extra probably 4 or 5 gallons. So minimum probably a 15-gallon reserve for a 6-foot grow wall like this, or cooling wall. So what I have is, this motor is plugged into the exhaust fan thermostat. So when the exhaust fan sees that the greenhouse is over 85 degrees, this SureStat, it turns on the exhaust fan, but it also is split. It's got plenty of room to split that. I think it runs over 1,000 watts by itself. So you can run a splitter. Talk to an electrician if you want to, but the exhaust fan kicks on, and that kicks on the water pump. So simultaneously, you're going to start cooling the system. Some of them have a delay that the water pump comes on first. Maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't, but this is just a lot easier. So I think that was $70 or so. And then That's a 24-inch. And for a 600 square foot greenhouse, that seems to be meeting my needs just fine. And I'll show you one other thing. It's currently broken because we unhooked it, and you can't do that whenever it gets hot. But I'll put a new one on here. We have an automatic vent opener here, and I did screen this in to try to keep some of the bugs out. But the automatic vent opener will open this. It's more of in the winter time when the cooling wall is really not that important, and then I keep that closed for the summertime so that all the cool air comes in here, and then the inside fan kind of blows it. This rotates back and forth and oscillates. So far that's been working. I'm going to add a 40% screen on top of shade cloth on top of this Polylite, this Stabilit Polylite material. It already diffuses the light about 30-35%. So I'm hoping my calculations will come out to about what we had with the clear material and a 80% shade cloth last summer. So hopefully that will keep it cool enough here in Texas. We get 105 degree summers fairly consistently. Some weeks it'll go over 100 every day of the week. So anyway, it did work last year with an 80% shade cloth. I'm thinking this material will work even better. So I'll report back how that works out, but wish the best to you. If you have any questions, just shoot me a comment and I'll try to respond as best I can. Thanks.